Hello my friends, Dr. Mandell here. I want to share something very important with you today, especially if you're over the age of 60 and dealing with weak legs, painful cramps, or trouble walking. You see, so many seniors are unknowingly taking vitamins and supplements that may actually be doing more harm than good. Instead of strengthening your muscles, they can rob your body of minerals, cause imbalances, and leave your legs weak and cramping at night. Now listen closely, because I'm going to reveal 5 of the worst vitamins that could be making your legs weaker and your cramps more frequent. I want to spend a little extra time with you talking about something that often gets overlooked but is incredibly important for your health as you age. I'm talking about vitamin A, a vitamin we all know is essential for vision, immunity, and cell health. But here's the shocking truth. Too much vitamin A can weaken your body, harm your bones, and even set the stage for painful leg cramps and muscle weakness. Now I know what you might be thinking, how can a vitamin that's supposed to be good for me actually cause harm? That's the key right there. Vitamins are powerful, but they are not harmless. Just because something is natural or sold over the counter doesn't mean you can take as much as you want. Vitamins work best when they are in balance, and with vitamin A, that balance is extremely delicate. Vitamin A comes in 2 major forms. There's the preformed vitamin A, also known as retinol, which you find in animal foods like liver, fish oils, and dairy. Then there's provitamin A carotenoids like beta-carotene found in fruits and vegetables, carrots, sweet potatoes, and spinach. Here's the important part. Preformed vitamin A, the retinol type, is stored in your liver and fat tissues. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that you can flush out, this fat-soluble vitamin builds up over time. If you're taking supplements, and especially if you're eating vitamin A-rich foods as well, the levels can get too high. And when that happens, your body starts to suffer. One of the first areas affected is your bones and joints. Studies show that excessive vitamin A interferes with vitamin D, and when vitamin D is thrown off balance, calcium doesn't get absorbed properly into the bones. Instead of staying strong and resilient, your bones become brittle and weak. This is why seniors who take too much vitamin A have a higher risk of fractures. And remember, your legs carry you everywhere. You want those bones to be strong, not fragile. Now let's talk about your muscles. High levels of vitamin A can also interfere with muscle function. Many seniors describe a dull achiness in their legs or sudden night cramps, and often they have no idea what's causing it. They might blame dehydration or age, but very few consider the supplements they're taking every day. Too much vitamin A actually places stress on the liver, and when your liver is overworked, it cannot regulate minerals properly. Minerals like magnesium and potassium that are essential for normal muscle contraction. Without enough balance in those minerals, your muscles spasm, they tighten up. That's when you get those painful, stubborn cramps in your calves or thighs at night. Another concern is nerve irritation. Vitamin A toxicity can affect the nervous system, leading to symptoms like dizziness, headaches, and tingling in the extremities. For seniors, this can feel like weakness or instability in the legs, making it harder to walk or keep your balance. And the last thing you want is to feel unsteady when you're trying to stay active and independent. Now you may be asking, but Dr. Mandell, how much vitamin A is too much? The recommended daily allowance for most adults over 60 is around 700 micrograms for women and 900 micrograms for men. But here's the problem. Many supplements contain far more than that. Some multivitamins give you double or even triple the daily need. And if you're eating liver or fortified cereals on top of that, you're stacking up even more. Over time, that accumulation becomes toxic. And the truth is, most seniors don't need extra vitamin A in supplement form at all unless there's a very specific medical reason. So what's the solution? First, get your vitamin A from whole foods, not pills. Carrots, squash, kale, and other colorful vegetables contain beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A only as needed. It's safe because your body controls the conversion. You don't have to worry about overdosing on carrots or spinach. The body has a natural regulator. But when you take preformed vitamin A in supplement form, there is no off switch. It keeps building up whether your body needs it or not. Second, talk to your doctor or healthcare provider before taking any vitamin supplement, especially if it contains fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, or K. These vitamins can stay in your body for months, even years, and cause harm if the balance is wrong. Don't just assume more is better. Sometimes less is safer, and balance is always the key. Third, listen to your body. If you've been struggling with unexplained leg weakness, aching muscles, or nighttime cramps, take a look at what's in your supplement cabinet. You might be surprised to find vitamin A hiding in a multivitamin or even in fortified food you eat every day. Eliminating that excess could make a big difference in how you feel. Let me share one last point with you, my friends. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive. What you could tolerate in your 30s or 40s may not be the same in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. That's why it's so important to be mindful about what you put into your body. Vitamin A is not your enemy, but in the wrong amounts it can quietly steal away your strength and vitality. So remember this, your legs are your foundation. They give you independence, freedom, and the ability to enjoy your life to the fullest. Don't let excess vitamin A silently weaken them. Focus on balance, on whole foods, and on giving your body exactly what it needs. Not too much, not too little. Today I want to talk to you about something that surprises a lot of people. You've probably heard for years that vitamin E is one of the best vitamins for your health. It's an antioxidant, it protects your cells, it supports your immune system, and many seniors think that if a little vitamin E is good, then more must be even better. But here's the truth, too much vitamin E can actually weaken your body, affect your circulation, and trigger painful cramps in your legs. Now let's make this simple. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means your body stores it in your fat tissues and liver. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, which you can flush out when you take too much, vitamin E builds up. Over time, if you're taking large doses from supplements, that excess doesn't just go away, it accumulates. And that's when problems start. One of the biggest issues with high doses of vitamin E is that it thins the blood. Now, thinning the blood might sound like a good thing for preventing clots, but in reality, it can go too far. When your blood becomes too thin, it doesn't clot the way it should. This can cause easy bruising, bleeding gums, nosebleeds, and in more serious cases, even internal bleeding. But here's what's most important for seniors. When your circulation is altered in this way, your muscles, especially in your legs, don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. And when your leg muscles are starved of oxygen, they begin to spasm, they tighten. And that's when those painful cramps strike, often in the middle of the night when you least expect it. Another problem is that excess vitamin E can interfere with other nutrients. One of the big ones is vitamin K. Vitamin K is necessary for proper blood clotting and for directing calcium into your bones and away from your arteries. When too much vitamin E pushes vitamin K out of balance, not only does your blood become thinner, but your bones and blood vessels can also suffer. Seniors who are already prone to weaker bones and stiffer arteries don't need anything else working against them. And if your bones and blood vessels are compromised, your legs will feel the effects: weakness, fatigue, and more frequent cramping. Now let's think about the nervous system for a moment. Vitamin E in the right amount is protective for your nerves, but in high doses it can overstimulate certain pathways and cause oxidative stress rather than reduce it. That's the irony. An antioxidant in normal amounts can become a pro-oxidant in very high amounts, and oxidative stress damages the delicate tissues in your muscles and nerves. Many seniors describe this as a tingling, burning, or restless sensation in their legs, and sometimes it feels like their muscles just won't relax. Another point I want to stress is that most seniors do not actually need vitamin E supplements. That might sound surprising, but the truth is vitamin E is abundant in foods if you're eating a balanced diet. Nuts, seeds, spinach, avocado, and vegetable oils naturally provide vitamin E in safe amounts. Your body knows exactly how to use it when it comes from food. But when you take high-dose capsules, 400 IU, 800 IU, sometimes even more, you're pushing your system beyond what it was designed to handle. And research shows that those high doses can actually increase the risk of problems like heart failure, hemorrhagic stroke, and overall muscle weakness. Now, I'm not telling you vitamin E is bad. No, vitamin E is essential for your health. But what I want you to understand is that more is not better. Balance is the key. When you're over 60, your body becomes more sensitive. The systems that keep your blood, your muscles, and your nerves in harmony don't work quite as smoothly as they did when you were younger. That means you need to be extra careful with supplements. You need to ask yourself, do I really need this? Or am I just taking it because I heard it's good for me? I want you to picture this. Imagine you're lying in bed at night and suddenly your calf locks up. That sharp, stabbing pain takes your breath away. You massage it, you stretch it, but it keeps coming back night after night. You think you're dehydrated, so you drink more water. You eat bananas for potassium, but nothing changes. And all along, it could be that high-dose vitamin E supplement you've been faithfully taking every day, thinking it was protecting you. That's why I always say, listen to your body. It speaks to you every day. If you're dealing with weakness, unexplained cramps, or changes in your circulation, look closely at your supplements. Look at the labels. You may find that vitamin E is hiding in your multivitamin or added to other products. It doesn't take much for the levels to climb higher than your body needs. So what can you do? First, focus on natural sources of vitamin E. A handful of almonds, a spoonful of sunflower seeds, or a little spinach in your salad will give your body what it needs without pushing it into toxic territory. Second, if you do take a supplement, make sure it's in small, balanced amounts and never megadoses. And third, talk with your healthcare provider, especially if you're on medications like blood thinners. Combining those with vitamin E supplements can be dangerous and is something you don't want to ignore. My friends, your health is in your hands. The choices you make every day, what you eat, what you drink, what supplements you take, add up over time. Don't let a well-intentioned habit like taking extra vitamin E work against you. Protect your legs, protect your circulation, protect your strength. Remember this, your legs are your independence. They allow you to walk, to move, to live your life with freedom. Keep them strong by giving your body balance, not overload. Too much vitamin E may sound harmless, but it can be the hidden reason behind those cramps, that weakness, or that fatigue you've been fighting. I want to spend some important time with you talking about vitamin D. Now, we all know that vitamin D is absolutely critical for your bones, your muscles, your immune system, and even your mood. Doctors everywhere talk about vitamin D deficiency, and many people, especially seniors, are told to take supplements. And yes, vitamin D is essential. Without it, your body can't absorb calcium properly, your bones become brittle, your immune system struggles, and your muscles can feel weak. But here's the truth that doesn't get talked about enough: too much vitamin D, especially when it's not balanced with other key nutrients, can actually harm your body and trigger painful leg cramps. Vitamin D is what we call a fat-soluble vitamin, which means just like vitamin A and vitamin E, it stays stored in your body. You don't just flush it out like vitamin C or B vitamins. If you take too much day after day, those levels keep climbing. And while many seniors think they're protecting their bones by taking high doses of vitamin D, what often happens is the opposite. They start experiencing stiffness, muscle pain, and leg cramps. And they have no idea that the very supplement they're taking to help their bones is actually causing the problem. Here's why. Vitamin D's job is to increase calcium absorption from your gut. So if you're taking high doses of vitamin D, your body starts pulling more and more calcium into the bloodstream. That might sound like a good thing at first, but the problem is this: if you don't have enough magnesium and vitamin K2 in your system, that calcium doesn't know where to go. Instead of moving into your bones and teeth where it belongs, it can deposit into your muscles, your joints, your kidneys, and even your arteries. That calcium buildup can lead to stiffness, calcification, and cramping in your muscles, especially your legs. Think about it like this. Imagine you're paving a road. You have all this cement ready to pour, but there's no construction crew to guide it into the right places. What happens? The cement gets dumped anywhere and hardens where it shouldn't. That's exactly what happens when you have too much vitamin D without enough magnesium or vitamin K2. The calcium hardens in your soft tissues instead of strengthening your bones. And when that happens, your muscles can't relax properly and cramps begin. Magnesium is especially important here. Magnesium and calcium work together like a seesaw. Calcium contracts your muscles. Magnesium helps them relax. But when you take high doses of vitamin D, it uses up a lot of magnesium. Over time, this creates a magnesium deficiency. And what's one of the number one signs of magnesium deficiency? Muscle cramps, spasms, and restless legs at night. So seniors who think they're protecting themselves with vitamin D might actually be setting themselves up for sleepless nights filled with painful cramps. Another issue with too much vitamin D is that it can raise calcium levels in the blood to unsafe levels. This condition is called hypercalcemia. Symptoms can include nausea, fatigue, kidney stones, and yes, muscle weakness and cramping. Many times seniors chalk these symptoms up to just getting older, but often it's the supplements they're taking that are causing the problem. Now I want to be clear, vitamin D is essential. We don't get enough sunlight, especially as we age. Our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D, and many seniors spend less time outdoors. But the answer is not to take massive doses blindly. It's about balance. The average adult needs around 600 to 800 IU daily, sometimes a little more if levels are low, but I see people taking 5,000, 10,000, even 20,000 IU a day thinking it's harmless. Over months or years, this can lead to real damage. So what's the solution? First, get your vitamin D levels tested. A simple blood test will tell you exactly where you stand. Don't guess. If your levels are low, supplementation may be necessary, but it should always be guided by your doctor or healthcare provider. Second, don't forget about the partners, vitamin K2 and magnesium. If you're taking vitamin D without these, you're missing half the equation. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into your bones and teeth and keeps it out of your arteries and muscles. Magnesium helps your muscles relax and prevents those painful nighttime cramps. Together, they create the balance your body needs. Another important step is to get as much natural vitamin D as possible from safe sun exposure. Just 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight on your arms and legs a few times a week can make a huge difference, especially in the summertime. Your body knows exactly how to regulate vitamin D from sunlight. You don't risk overdosing the way you do with supplements, and foods like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy can provide smaller amounts to support your needs. Now let me share a real-life scenario that I've seen many times. A senior in their late 60s or 70s comes to me complaining of aching legs, cramps at night, and fatigue during the day. They're worried something serious is wrong. When I ask about their supplements, they proudly tell me they've been taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D every day for the past year because they heard it was good for bones. We check their blood work, and sure enough, their vitamin D levels are sky high, but their magnesium is low and their calcium is creeping up into dangerous territory. The solution? We cut back the vitamin D, add magnesium, and focus on balance. Within a few weeks, their cramps improve, their legs feel stronger, and their energy returns. My friends, the takeaway here is simple. More is not always better. With vitamins, especially fat-soluble ones like vitamin D, balances everything. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that doubling or tripling the dose will give you double or triple the benefit. It doesn't work that way. In fact, it can work against you. So remember, your legs are your foundation. You want them strong, flexible, and free of cramps. Protect them by using vitamin D wisely. Get tested, use the right dose, and always balance it with magnesium and vitamin K2. And never forget, nature is the best provider. Sunlight, whole foods, and balance will always serve your body better than chasing after high-dose pills. Today I want to share something very important with you, especially if you're over 60 and you've been dealing with fatigue, leg weakness, or painful cramps that just don't seem to go away. The topic is iron. Now, iron is one of those nutrients that everyone knows is essential. It carries oxygen in your blood, it gives you energy, and without enough of it, you feel weak and tired. That's why iron deficiency and anemia get so much attention. But here's what most people don't realize: too much iron can be just as dangerous as too little. And for seniors, it can be a hidden cause of leg pain, cramps, and weakness. Iron is a mineral your body needs in just the right amount. Think of it like fire. A small controlled flame can warm your home and cook your food. But if that fire spreads out of control, it destroys everything in its path. Iron works the same way. In small amounts, it's essential for carrying oxygen and supporting your metabolism. But when iron builds up beyond what your body can use, it creates a process called oxidative stress. That means iron starts reacting with oxygen in your body, producing free radicals, tiny unstable molecules that damage your cells, your joints, your muscles, and your nerves. Over time, this can lead to inflammation, stiffness, and painful muscle cramps, especially in your legs. Here's the part that concerns me most for seniors. Your body has no natural way to get rid of excess iron. If you take in too much, it just keeps storing it, mainly in the liver, the heart, and the muscles. And the longer it sits there, the more damage it can do. Many seniors keep taking iron supplements because they heard they were good for energy, or they were once told they were anemic years ago, but their needs have changed. After menopause, most women no longer lose iron through monthly cycles, and men generally don't need extra iron at all unless a doctor has specifically diagnosed anemia. Yet, many multivitamins still contain iron, and people take them every day without realizing the harm they're causing. So how does this connect to your legs? When too much iron is stored in the body, it can actually damage the mitochondria, the little powerhouses inside your cells that produce energy. Your muscles rely on those mitochondria to contract and relax smoothly. When they're damaged, your muscles don't get the energy they need, and they begin to spasm or cramp. That's why seniors with high iron often complain about restless legs, painful nighttime cramps, or a heavy, achy feeling in their thighs and calves. Iron overload also creates stiffness in the joints and promotes arthritis-like pain. This is because excess iron fuels inflammation. Inflammation doesn't just affect your knees and hips. It seeps into the small muscles and nerves of your legs, making them feel tight, sore, and unreliable. And here's the scary part. Many people don't connect these symptoms to iron. They think they're just aging, when in reality their body is suffering from too much of a mineral they thought was helping them. Another danger of too much iron is its effect on circulation. Excess iron thickens the blood and stresses the blood vessels. Poor circulation means your leg muscles don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need. Without proper blood flow, you're more likely to develop cramps when you're walking, climbing stairs, or even just lying in bed. Your muscles are basically crying out for oxygen, and instead of feeling strong and energized, you feel pain and weakness. Now let's talk about how this happens. Some people are more prone to iron overload because of a genetic condition called hemochromatosis. But even without that, simply taking supplements year after year can gradually raise your levels. Combine that with eating iron-rich foods like red meat and fortified cereals, and you can easily end up with too much. The problem is that many seniors never get their iron levels tested. They assume if they're tired, they must need more iron, when in reality the fatigue may be from high iron causing oxidative damage and inflammation. So what can you do? The first step is to stop taking iron unless your doctor tells you that you truly need it. Check your multivitamin label. Many products have iron added by default, even though most seniors don't require it. If you don't need it, switch to an iron-free formula. The second step is to ask your doctor to check your ferritin and iron saturation levels. These tests show how much iron is stored in your body. If they're high, you'll know right away that iron overload could be behind your symptoms. Another important step is to focus on foods that naturally balance iron in the body, while red meat is high in heme iron, the form that absorbs most efficiently. Plant foods contain non-heme iron, which absorbs more slowly and safely. Beans, lentils, spinach, and pumpkin seeds are excellent sources, and your body will only absorb what it needs. Pairing these with vitamin C-rich foods like citrus or peppers can help you absorb the right amount. On the other hand, coffee, tea, and calcium-rich foods can slow down iron absorption, which can be helpful if your levels are too high. One more thing to remember, if your iron levels are high, your doctor may recommend donating blood as a way to lower them. This is one of the simplest and most effective methods to reduce iron overload because it forces your body to use up stored iron to make new red blood cells. It's safe, it's natural, and it can make a tremendous difference in how your legs feel. My friends, I want you to take this message to heart. Iron is essential, but more is not better. For seniors especially. Too much iron can silently damage your muscles, your circulation, and your joints, leaving you with cramps, stiffness, and weakness that rob you of your independence. Don't let that happen. Be mindful of your supplements. Know your numbers and always choose balance over excess. Your legs are your freedom. They carry you to the people you love, to the activities you enjoy, and to the life you deserve to live. Protect them by making smart choices with your nutrition. Don't let excess iron weigh them down or steal your strength. With the right balance, your legs will remain strong, flexible, and free of pain. I want to talk with you about a vitamin and mineral combination that so many seniors have been misled about, and that's calcium. For decades, people have been told that if they want to protect their bones, stop osteoporosis, and keep their legs strong, they need to take lots of calcium. The shelves in pharmacies are loaded with calcium supplements, chewables, tablets, powders, and most of them advertise bone strength or stronger joints. But here's the reality: high-dose calcium, especially when it's not taken with the right partners like magnesium and vitamin K2, can do more harm than good. Instead of building stronger bones, it can actually cause painful leg cramps, stiffness, and even weaken the very structure you're trying to protect. Calcium is a mineral that your body absolutely needs. It builds bones, supports muscle contraction, and helps your nerves function. Without enough calcium, your bones can become fragile and your muscles may spasm. But here's the catch: calcium is only one piece of the puzzle. Your body requires a very delicate balance of nutrients to use calcium correctly. When you take high doses of calcium without balance, it often ends up in the wrong places. Instead of being directed into your bones and teeth, excess calcium can deposit in your muscles, your blood vessels, your kidneys, and your soft tissues. That's when the problems start. Think about this: your muscles contract when calcium enters the cells, but they need magnesium to relax again. Calcium tightens, magnesium loosens. If you flood your system with calcium without enough magnesium to counterbalance it, your muscles can stay locked in contraction. That's exactly what a muscle cramp is: your muscle tightening and refusing to release. This is why so many seniors who take heavy doses of calcium supplements complain about night cramps in their legs or stiffness when they wake up in the morning. Another partner nutrient that gets overlooked is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director for calcium. It tells calcium to go into the bones and teeth, and it keeps calcium out of your arteries and muscles. Without vitamin K2, calcium has no proper guidance. Imagine pouring cement on a construction site with no one directing where it should go. It ends up in all the wrong places. And when calcium builds up in your arteries, it can harden them, leading to cardiovascular problems. When it deposits in your muscles or joints, it can make your legs stiff, heavy, and painful. Now here's another important fact. Many seniors already get enough calcium from their diet. Dairy products, leafy greens, fortified foods, all of these provide calcium naturally, yet people often add 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of calcium supplements every day on top of that. Over time, this leads to overload. Studies have even shown that very high calcium intake from supplements can increase the risk of kidney stones and cardiovascular disease. And once again, those first warning signs can show up in your legs: muscle cramps, weakness, and aching pain. It's also important to remember that vitamin D plays a big role in calcium absorption. But here's where things get tricky. Many people are taking both high-dose vitamin D and high-dose calcium together. This combination pulls enormous amounts of calcium into the bloodstream, and if you're not taking magnesium and vitamin K2, much of that calcium ends up exactly where it shouldn't be. This is why so many seniors who are doing everything right by taking calcium and vitamin D still end up with brittle bones, stiff muscles, and painful cramps. They're missing the full balance. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a woman in her 70s who wants to protect her bones. She takes 1,200 milligrams of calcium every day because she was told it will stop osteoporosis. But she doesn't take magnesium or vitamin K2. After several months, she starts to feel cramps in her calves at night. She notices her legs feel heavy when she walks upstairs. She thinks it's just aging, or maybe she needs more calcium, so she increases her dose, but the cramps get worse, and her doctor later finds calcification in her arteries. What was intended to keep her healthy actually caused her more problems. This is why I always remind my friends, balance, not excess, is the secret. Calcium by itself is not the magic bullet for strong bones. Your bones are living tissue that require protein, collagen, vitamin D, magnesium, vitamin K2, and exercise, especially weight-bearing exercise. Simply swallowing large amounts of calcium will never replace those other essentials. In fact, it can make your muscles and circulation worse. If you want to keep your legs strong and free of cramps, here are some better strategies. First, focus on food sources of calcium rather than high-dose pills. Leafy greens like kale and bok choy, almonds, sesame seeds, sardines with bones, and small amounts of dairy are excellent natural sources. Your body absorbs calcium from these foods in a safer, more balanced way. Second, make sure you're getting enough magnesium. Magnesium is found in nuts, seeds, legumes, and dark chocolate. Many seniors are deficient in magnesium, and this deficiency magnifies the cramping effects of excess calcium. Third, include vitamin K2 from foods like fermented vegetables, natto, or certain cheeses, or consider a supplement if needed. This will help guide calcium to your bones and protect your arteries and muscles. Most importantly, don't fall for the myth that more calcium equals stronger bones. Bone strength comes from balance and lifestyle. Exercise your legs with walking, light weights, or resistance bands to stimulate bone growth. Stay hydrated because dehydration can make cramps worse. And always check with your healthcare provider before loading up on supplements you may not even need. My friends, I want you to always remember this. Your legs are your freedom. They give you independence, mobility, and the ability to enjoy life fully. Don't let misguided advice about calcium rob you of that freedom. High-dose calcium without balance can lead to pain, stiffness, and weakness that makes every step harder. Choose balance, choose whole foods, and let your body use calcium the way it was designed to.